Modern Mahjong presents today's Daily Talk of the Tiles for June 17th, 2025. You may have caught us on the Today Show yesterday talking Mahjong with Savannah and Jenna. It was the June 16th episode of the Today Show. We were on at around 8:32. If you're watching this on Instagram, check out our YouTube channel, Modern Mahjong, to find out other videos to help you understand the why in this series and several other playlists of important information and how to play with confidence. There are many rules or traditions that might seem confusing until you know why. And then it's crystal clear. So let's start with, why doesn't next in line always get the discard? First, the rules. When two players call a discard, if one is for Mahjong and the other for an exposure, the player calling the discard for Mahjong gets the tile. And this is even if they're not the next player. So player ends in R, play goes to the right. Player A throws a discard. They say 2 dot. Player B and D both need that tile. One for Mahjong, one for an exposure. Whoever needs it for Mahjong gets the tile, even if they're not next in line. What if both players or three players called it either for Mahjong or an exposure, all for the same thing? So usually next in line would get that. However, there is an exception, and it's written on the back of the card. It's in Mahjong Made Easy, and we discuss it in detail in our visual companion guide for American Mahjong, which is available on Amazon. If a player that's not next in line started exposing tiles from their rack that match the discard, or they picked up the discard and placed it on the flat top part of the rack, they get the tile. And that's even if they're not next in line. It's not a new rule as much as you might hear. It has been around for years, and it was discussed in bulletins back in 2007. In a question in 2013, a player asked, two players call for the same tile for an exposure. The second player who called started to make an exposure, but next in turn said, I wanted that tile too. Who's entitled? Just as long as the other player started to make the exposure, next in turn was too late. This is not a race to expose. The intent was not by the National Mahjong League to do this. The rule is intended to reinforce two things about Mahjong. It's a looking and listening game. All players, including next in line, need to pay attention. Some more to think about. We also discuss in our visual companion guide that the back of the card provides a player's turn begins when they either pick or claim a tile. It doesn't say it begins when you expose tiles from your rack, but that is what gives a player a jump over next in line. But keep in mind, following best practices could prevent your hand from being declared dead. Let's say player A follows best practices. They pick up the discard first, they put it flat on the top of their rack. If another player had thrown a 7 crack but said 6 crack, if a player puts up tiles that don't match the actual discard, their hand would be dead if they don't have Mahjong. You must make sure the tile you are claiming is the tile discarded. So it's best practice to first pick up the discard for the center of the table. You are not committed to that tile until it is on the flat top part of your rack or you expose tiles from your rack. So if you misheard, as long as you didn't put the tile on the top of your rack, you could say, oh, never mind, and put it back down. Now remember, tournaments have different rules. So if you're playing in a tournament, it's usually much stricter, and just merely picking up the discard would have you committed to that tile. So for today's hand of the day, 2468, number 8, we're at the bottom of the section, and you know how you know? It's concealed. The league did us a favor and put all concealed hands in the sections as the last hand. Any 3 suits for this hand, like pungs any even numbers. So it's 4 pairs, 2-2, 4-4, 6-6, 8-8. That could be bam, crack, or dot. Then you have 2 pungs, and they could be 2s, 4s, 6s, or 8s, as long as they match. This is a concealed hand, so a reminder that do not expose anything until you pick or call your 14th tile for Mahjong. And make sure you read those parentheses, because the like pungs could be any even numbers. If you have any questions about this, let us know, comment below, or send us an email at modernmahjong@gmail.com. Our Learn to Play series is starting soon. We will be teaching the 23rd, the 25th, the 30th, and the 2nd at night, and you'll have a full month if you pay to register for private replays after the series. So if you missed the first class or second class, you could catch up and join us live. Our Canasta Convention is being held October 11th and 12th at the Honors Bridge Club. Check out the details on bit.ly/CanastaCon25. And we are turning off registration momentarily for tonight's event. We are hosting a Honors Bridge Club. We are hosting a Alzheimer's Association wine and cheese reception and social games. We hope to see you there. What should we discuss next in our daily Talk of the Tiles? Comment below or send us an email and let us know. And if you're not following us, what are you missing out on? We invite you to like, comment, save, and share. With that, we hope you have a great day and a great game.